Episode 6 of The Acolyte came out recently. It was originally titled the it was originally titled Teach Corrupt, but 7 minutes ago they changed the title to The Parent Trap. So that's
Do
kind
you
of interesting.
do you get the reference? The Parent Trap? Do
That
you
was a
get
good
it?
that was a good movie.
Yep. Uh, back to this piece of shit.
Yeah, yeah. So what happened in this episode, Unity?
Uh, to be honest, it just we can summarize this. So found out May it's not May it's pretending to be OSHA, and the Green Jedi decided to look at the crime scene. That's everything.
So, as astutely named by the episode, the Parent Trap. So basically, the idea is that Osha is put in May's place. The stranger takes her to this unknown planet that looks a lot like Octu. Probably is that planet from the Last Jedi. And Soul takes May, who he thinks is Osha. So the part that doesn't really apply with the Parent Trap is that, well, the stranger already knows that May is not Osha. I mean, Osha is not May. So that kind of
And
defeats the purpose of that.
yeah, I don't. To be honest, I don't get it why they changed to teach corrupt and stuff. Because this title ideas only appear in the first two episodes,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
they just drop it to episode three is Destiny, episode four is Day, episode five is Night. It was like, oh,
yeah. Now
that's
the Parent Trap has like a creativity kind of thing if you were to compare it to the others, but like it doesn't apply. So yeah,
yeah.
outside of surface level things.
But yeah, hey, reference clap.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, the stranger takes Osha to this unknown planet and addresses her wounds. It turns out, and like before we even learn about his backstory a little bit, we get a an
Yeah,
non-equality kind of scene. So I'm kidding, but like you know what I mean.
yeah.
Yeah, the stranger strips down, goes into the lake to take a bath. Essentially, Osha picks up his lightsaber. That's not a sex joke, by the way.
Uh,
And then they have a little bit of an exchange.
so here's the thing: why did Osha try to kill the stranger or Smilo Ren? I mean, this guy killed like seven Jedi. Osha could. There's no way Osha can beat this guy.
Yeah, they kind of point that out too as well in the episode.
Which is like, yeah, but why do you even try to do that?
I could see like having the lightsaber on hand could be, it's like to assure that he doesn't have it, which is, but then it's like you remember that he has two lightsabers, so the second
Yeah,
one is somewhere. I don't know if this one particular lightsaber could break off into half, because I think that's what he did in the last episode as well. But even then, he has the Force, so that's not really going to be too helpful.
sure. It's like, so to be honest, this evil guy's force powers is always inconsistent. It's like, and sometimes they make him forget he has force power. So, oh well.
They're really going into that element of seduced by the dark side, and they're taking that very literally.
Oh no! If only this person, it's like a trustworthy person, and who didn't kill any of her friends beforehand.
Yeah, no, it's really because she saw his penis. Like let's not beat around the bush at this point because the episode didn't do that. I will say it makes more sense than Kylo and Rey, but like the fact that this is the inspiration, so it seems, is like kind of weird. Especially since like this being on Octu as well. Even in that movie, they also have like shirtless Kylo in the toilet or something.
Yay!
I think that's how it should have ended. Reference, but So that's happening on Octu. On the other side, Soul and May is a little bit more. It's more because of Soul. Because we've had this conversation before. Soul is probably their best character in the
Maybe.
show.
or just the actor. To be honest, it's because like, he still has something going on compared to other people, just like destroy all their potentials. But don't you worry, next episode is gonna be about what happened to the witches. Maybe the Jedi killed them all.
Maybe.
I'll be fucking pissed if that happened.
Back on the Jedi ship, Soul tries
Uh,
to attempt to contact the Jedi Council.
and then
Um,
yeah, and then it's like,
it's like cutting out,
fuck.
mentioning that the whole team got killed.
Why is it cutting out? It's not, the ship is not damaged.
I guess they said it was in the Outer Rim, according to
I mean,
the location.
which at that point is like, okay, just fly it somewhere that's not the outer rim.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But then
like,
he lost power, it seems.
which is like, wait, what the fuck? That's going to the outer rim also makes you lose power,
Oh, I think it's just convenient timing.
which is fucked up.
It was
I
so that
love
May
that,
could
right?
walk around to find
Pip.
Basil and Pip. Basil knows that May
Uh,
is not Osha. Pip also seemed to realize it as well.
which is
But
like,
then,
yeah.
it fires like oil into her face. Then she turns it into his pre-factory setting, and it just reminded me of Kenobi, where the light turns from white to red, and now it's a Sith droid.
And by the way, do you know how they turn it to a pre-factory setting?
Just press the button.
Yeah, it's basically how you turn off your phone.
Yeah.
The off button and the volume, which, by the way, even on the phone, this is not how you turn to the factory setting, you dipshit.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can give it leeway is that on a phone you have like a touch screen, so you can physically press a button that tells you to do that. Whereas like the droid, I guess it just is more rudimentary.
I mean, do you remember like Toy Story 3, how they just turn Buzz into a factory setting? It's like,
Oh yeah.
that is somehow more complicated than a droid in Star Wars. Thousands of years in the future.
So yeah, May. It's basically the power outage is just basically there for May to walk around and get Pip as her droid, I guess.
Yeah, and it's like this entire thing is so stupid. It's like this Basil guy and Pip noticed that, oh, so this guy, it's not May. It's not Osha, I mean. But so it's like, fuck, let's just have her hang around the ship, blah blah blah. Let's not do anything.
So the problem here is that Basil doesn't talk to Soul or any of the characters. He's just kind of investigating on his own by using his sniffer. Which is like, but then it's like, I guess the other thing too is like, Yord seemed to be the only one that could understand what Basil was saying. So I guess there is that element. But I mean, I'm sure Basil can still like tug at somebody's pant leg and point at, this is not a good person, like that kind of thing. But he never did that.
Which is like, which is
At
like,
the
yeah,
very
why
least,
would
if you
you
can't
do that?
understand what he's saying. But yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. Of course, like, how does Soul not notice that a long time ago? I mean, to be honest, my biggest leeway it's that, okay, he only discovered that at some point in the ship, which is like fair, but there's still a lot of problems with that.
Yeah. So I guess we can talk about how they found out. How Soul found out.
He noticed that her relationship with the Pip drop, it's also, he has suspicions about it.
So I think what I got out of that is like, I think he's describing Osha's like connection with something like a machine, even though it's not real. Like she still treats it like a real thing, which is like something he commends out of her. I mean, it's like one of those compliments that kind of makes sense. It's like kind of sets her apart from other Jedi or something like that. Where maybe that I mean, just to like speak my own thoughts, I do feel like that kind of thing kind of, I think it's a nice thing to bring up if he's going, because he's about to say something serious to Osha.
I had to lose a lot of myself in order to become a Jedi, even if I didn't know it at the time.
I'm sorry if you felt that way.
How could I feel any other way?
Which I thought that exchange was really good in Isolation.
But of course, this is not May. This is not OSHA. So there's
Yeah.
like, okay, you're literally putting information out of your ass.
Yeah, and Soul is not like Soul hasn't like, he hasn't figured it out yet at this point. But it's when May starts to ask specifically what happened over there on that planet that you didn't tell me.
Have you told me everything that happened on Brendock?
You were very young.
But I'm not now. You can tell me.
That's when Solo starts to connect some dots that like Osha would not prod that question out of me like that. Then when she goes to the ship and like, it's like to the observation deck and she's about to contact the council, then he stuns her with the stun gun. I say this now because like I feel like the way they emphasize on like the camera, at least they emphasize the May has
How
a
they-
tattoo on
yeah.
her forehead, which they totally forgot about, by the way.
Yeah.
And then Osha has a tattoo on her arm. So I was worried that Soul is not going to find out until much later, where it's like, oh wait, you don't have the tattoo on your arm, and then that's how he figures it out. That would have been really stupid. But yeah, I mean, at least he figured it out through May's dialogue that there's something wrong with her.
I mean, there's still the thing that's like, oh, why didn't you notice her tattoo in her forehead? It's like, oh, you have a tattoo in your forehead. Where did that came from? Like, let's connect some dots. It was like, oh, okay, you didn't realize that until now.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
I
even
guess
funny. Yeah.
yeah, and I guess cutting
But
her hair from the last episode too is like not. I guess it was enough length so that it still covers her tattoo forehead.
May is restrained, which is like, it's like I'm so confused. It's like, oh fuck, they find out, and he immediately shut off command when all the signals are connected again. Why do you do that? No,
So
seriously.
he kind of I so this is kind of like my estimation because it is like still episode 6 and we're not done with the season yet. I feel like what
Yeah.
he's trying, he clearly looks like he's trying to redeem himself from something, which is why like when the first thing he mentions to May when she wakes up is that he's been thinking about this for 16 years, what to tell her, that happened back on Brendock. And then that's how the episode ends. Obviously, we still have more to talk about with the other scenes, but yeah, it does seem like he's going to go against the Jedi code, or like like the way of going about this, because he has something really personal to
But-
deal with these two twins.
Here's the thing. He said in this episode,
I'm sorry. It's time to make things right. It's time for me to face the High Council, to tell them everything.
which is like, oh, you gotta tell them things what you did in episode 3.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
okay,
Which is
you gotta,
Yeah.
you gotta do the right thing, and then at the end, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. It's like, fuck it. It's like, what happened?
Yeah, that's seems what episode 7 is going to be about. Soul has been saying this he said this to Osha back in a previous episode, and now he's saying it to May right now. So it's like, I feel like with that sort of thing is
Yeah.
like he needs to get something off his chest.
But
But he's trying to
yeah.
find the right moment to do it, which is I guess there could be a bit of a contrivance stuff. It's like, when is the right time? But I could if it's that personal, then there is like some leeway to that.
But the thing is, in the end of the episode, he's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go rogue and do shit." It was like, but in the same episode, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna confess everything. I'm gonna do the right thing because all the lives suffer, blah blah blah." Which, if he knows that Osha is still in danger, why would you contact the High Council? It's like, just confess everything. I don't care, and just have that. I mean, the alternative is you go rogue with May yourself, or you have a lot more Jedi to help you.
I don't know. So the context is that he was gonna go do the right thing if Osha was like right next to him, like everybody's dead. He's gonna go to the council and like say everything. But now that he knows that this is not Osha and this is May, he's going rogue right now for the sake of, okay, so if I have May now, that means Osha's still out there. That means the stranger is still out there. So I gotta do this right. So that's kind of why he's going rogue, is because Osha being May is what changed the parameters of what Soul is thinking. At least that's what I got out of it.
But the thing is, like, the Smiler Ren killed like 7 Jedi. What makes him think that Soul himself is gonna beat him? Assuming he knows that he kidnaps Osha or something.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing where I can't really answer that now due to how the episode ends. But I'm just saying, like, for the sake of the conversation as where the episode ends, I do understand Soul's like perspective, or like why he was this way earlier in the episode and why he went back on it later in this episode.
I mean, if that's the case, I would just lie to them. Like literally, just like say it's like, oh fuck, all of them died. I'm sorry, and this guy and this Sith Lord kidnapped this person I know. So please help me and just figure him out. It's like, I mean, you don't have to tell him the truth now. Just tell him part of the truth that the Sith Lord returned, killed everyone. So I need your help to find him. Which is like you don't have to confess anything. Just you can still lie about it.
I guess the other thing too is like it's a little difficult because like because this is the ending of the episode, so we don't really know what's going to happen. Like, does May know where they are? Like, he could get that information out of them, yeah.
Oh, May absolutely knows where
Yeah.
Smilo lives.
So if they do know that, then like you could get that information and then deal with it now rather than going back to the council, interrogating May over there, where it could be long since Osha is dead or whatever happens with her. So I could see the reasoning as to why he's rushing everything out due to
Even this scene in isolation was like, okay, there's like it's not like lying is still not an option. It's like and it's like it's a lot of things. It's just like you don't have to tell them the truth and you can still get what you want. The thing is like you can't face the Sith Lord alone. This is the thing that should just put a damper on it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I do understand like some semblance of like where his thought process is going. I'm only giving it leeway as of right now because of where the episode ended. But yeah, like when we edit this and then we do it again for episodes 7 and 8, it's probably going to be completely outdated. But like so
yeah, maybe it's like of course. If so, it's like John Wick and the guy is just some random goon. Yeah, that's fine. But but now, so it's just some random goon, and the Sith Lord is John Wick. So oh well. That's one thing they have to figure that out.
yeah. I will have to see like what this conversation with May is like, because obviously they've kind of been building up this I have to tell you something to either Osha or May.
I mean, here's another thing. Is like, how did the Basso and Pip figure out that it's not Osha before So read her mind already.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of hard to do a parent trap with Jedi, where the Jedi can read minds and
he already did with May in episode 2. So the Green Lady. Okay.
Basically, like she gets the message from an underling saying like we had a contact with Sol. He said something happened on this planet. It sounds like everybody died. It's like, okay, we need to go to Kofar. We're bringing in 20 Jedi. They only brought in like 4 on screen, so there's that.
There's stupid lines like,
prepare a rescue team to depart for the planet Kofar immediately.
How do you know where he is?
I sent him there.
Wait, why didn't you tell everyone? Why didn't you tell everyone? Yeah, why didn't you tell everyone you sent Jedi to investigate the disappearance of another Jedi? They try to say, because I don't want the Senate to know that blah blah blah, but you can tell that to other Jedi.
So they go into the forest. They find all the dead bodies. The way,
yeah,
the first shot is they zoom in on Daphne Keen's corpse face, that was not nice. You did not have to do that.
Yeah, and that was so weird. But hey,
I get it. She's a Padawan, but like you didn't have to do that. That was crazy.
Yeah.
What did you see? Like, what did you notice? Like, and then it's basically the Yoda younglings thing in episode 3, with the whole like they were killed by sabers. So then the other Jedi it has to be Sol. Then Sol he's the only one powerful enough to kill that many Jedi. It's like that's kind of ridiculous.
And
then she thinks that maybe somebody has fell.
So they're like, check all the bodies. Oh, no sign of Osha or Sol.
Or
okay. May. Yeah. Which is like, okay. But what about the Basil guy? Why didn't you figure that? Why didn't you realize that? They forget they have they bring a tracker here. In episode 4.
Kalaka is in there.
How do we find him?
We have a tracker.
apparently this is all bullshit if they can just do it easily.
Yeah, that's true. The Jedi just go into the forest and they know exactly where the dead Jedi are. I guess through vibes of dead Jedi, but then again, then there was the dead Wookiee Jedi from the beginning. Oh, and we also get to see that lightsaber whip.
Hey, isn't that so cool? She just killed a bug with it.
They show
Yeah.
that one shot all the time in the trailers, so I'm guessing that's the only time we see it. Unless they
Yeah.
do a thing like where we didn't see any footage from episode 7 and 8, which is possible, but we'll see.
Which is it's possible. And here's the thing: it's like they have a lightsaber whip. Why is it never seen in other movies or shows?
We were talking about EU a little bit earlier. I know like the lightsaber whip is a thing. I mean, they even say in the lore that it's like it's not that like strong compared to a regular lightsaber, or like you actually can kind of see it in her motion that like it whips out and then it comes back to return into like a normal lightsaber size and then it goes back to inside the hilt. So it seems like they have like that function where you can pull it out as a whip or you can set it to the normal lightsaber setting, which is the question, like, can you do that for any other
Every
lightsaber?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we don't have a good lightsaber design since the cross guard from Kylo Ren.
And even that's kind of cringe.
Yeah, I mean, at least that's believable because we have cross guard blades in real life, so it's a cross guard gives more like it's like cross guards give you more defense. I mean, it sacrifices you a bit more movement, but gives you a bit more defense. Here's the thing: it's like why didn't you guys? I mean, the biggest suspicion is like, oh, so someone has to be killing all the Jedi. Which that's true because 2 Jedi's before this event happened got killed.
And then it's like, oh, it can't be May because May was the Acolyte because she doesn't use like conventional weapons to kill Jedi. She uses like one of them killed by poison, one of them killed by a kunai.
Yeah, kunai. That's basically how it works. So like, so isn't even in on it, and that because there are people killing other Jedi beforehand. There's other evidence of it. So, and here's the thing: why didn't they check Kanaka's place? Literally, no one just like, oh fuck, Kanaka is gone for a year. Let's not check this place. Just look around the forest, look at other dead Jedi aside from Kanaka. Oh yeah, why didn't it's like 3 minutes investigation, which they would see the hair of May.
Yeah, but I mean, even with that, it's like the fairness is that they couldn't find Osha's body or May's body, so they just assumed that they have to be alive. And Soul is gone as well. So I could see that like not really being a factor in the investigation, but I do think like not even looking at Karnaka's body is like weird because that was kind of the point why they were out there in the first place, right?
Yeah, and there's other things like, oh fuck, your neck is snapped, so there should be fingerprints of So didn't do it.
Honestly, I feel like most of Osha's clothes are gone too, like her robe and like because not Osha, May's like clothing, like it's clearly different than Osha's, but like Osha's not wearing any of that. The stranger finds her body. She's in her like tank top and pants really, but like Osha was also wearing like armor. She was also wearing like a purple cloak. That's nowhere to be found on either May or Osha. So
fuck, I didn't realize. Fuck, right, I didn't remember this.
Yeah.
So they should find her clothes and if they found her clothes and find her hair, that okay, so they must have switched places and stuff.
I think you're right. That doesn't make sense. That they should have figured that. They should have looked into that more.
Yeah. Oh right. There's something they said here. It's like it's so stupid by the psychic Jedi.
An explosion, then a battle. One versus many. His power extraordinary, his skills erratic.
Well, how do you came to that conclusion? One person killing. I mean, it is true. I've seen episode 5, but you shouldn't came to that conclusion that in like less than a minute of investigation.
So I mean, he's not at the scene of the crime. Soul ran away, so it must have been him. Why would he run if he didn't kill all the people? So you can't possibly fathom that there's another Jedi, which is why it's like I get that this is probably like to do like the whole like, oh, this is why you're the master and you're the Padawan or something like that. But it's just I don't know, the guy is just really stupid.
Yeah, it's not even just.
And she practically says that as well.
Yeah, I was like, this is called stupid. There's a difference between stupid and but also being stupid while predicting exactly what happened in the last episode.
So they put like a Plo Koon kind of alien in the set of Jedi that was going after the Wookiee. I just find it funny because, like, okay, so that guy clearly can't be Plo Koon because he died in this episode, in the last episode. And there's still a Plo Koon in the prequel trilogy. But then they bring back Ki-Adi-Mundi, and that guy has to be Ki-Adi-Mundi, the guy who said the Sith haven't been seen for over 1,000 years, that kind of thing. So it's like,
Yay.
I don't know why they did that. There was no reason to do it.
No, there's no reason. And people just steal man. It's like, oh, they didn't refer him as a Sith. Even though he's trained in Jedi arts, he knows how to kill people. He's really
Yeah.
powerful, stuff like that.
And
And
he's
then
he's not on the High Council yet, so it's like, I mean, I get it. He's like an intern right now, maybe, I guess. But I don't. It's just bizarre. There was no need to do that. I honestly would have been fine with like a Plo Koon type of alien thing, but it's like it's clearly not Plo Koon. It's somebody else, which is kind of what they did anyway. But then Ki-Adi-Mundi was the other Jedi, to the point where they actually changed his birth date, the Wikipedia, because they knew they contradicted their own stuff. And that's not even like a extended lore thing. That's just like from the prequel trilogy, the canon thing, to now. It's like, oh, we have to change it up. It's exactly like J.K. Rowling's stuff with McGonagall because of Fantastic Beast. So what a great franchise that was.
Hey, J.K. Rowling is the blueprint.
J.K. Rowling, the sequel trilogy.
Or Ryan Johnson. Ryan Johnson. Dave Filoni. He saved Star Wars, apparently. I don't know, man. He saved Star Wars every time he made something. Or he breathes.
I mean, Leslie also mentioned that Dave Filoni was the one that mentioned about the good witches for episode 3. But that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, if we break down the next episode, we gotta realize how bullshit it is.
But yeah, let's cover the last part of the episode. He even points to her like, there's the ship. If you wanna go over there, you just have to swim. But it'll get too dark, and then the high tide will come in, and then it will swallow you whole. Or you could just be with me, and I'm gonna eat lunch. The point of this is that Osha and the stranger are she kind of gets him to talk about himself.
Where'd you get that scar?
How do you think I got it?
Looks like someone stabbed you in the back.
Someone who threw me away?
Your Jedi Master?
But how do you got stabbed in the back by a lightsaber and survived?
To be fair, I don't know what exactly was the thing that stabbed him in the back, as of right now, at least. Then again, I don't even know if because it's possible that any of this could be capping in some regard, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's here's
but
the
like
thing, though.
It's enough for Osha to kind of see that they're drawing parallels to her past and his past, which I could see that being a manipulation tactic. Now at least.
But like not with who the stranger is. This guy killed 7 Jedi, almost killed everyone killed 2 people you care about, manipulate your sister for 17 years. Think about it. To be honest, this entire thing is just weird. Because I do not believe a second that Osha will be like, oh, stay away from me. Even though she's trapped in this island, she'll most likely just force herself to just keep a distance away from this stranger.
They have this conversation.
I'm wondering if it's honorable to kill me like this. Heat of battle, it's justified. But a few hours later, it's vengeance. Now you're wondering how I can read your mind. I can't. Not exactly. Your anger betrays your thoughts.
It could be very possible that the stranger's probably formulating like a story that sounds similar to Osha because her thoughts are betraying her in that sense. Which is why it's like, for that kind of thing, is like, I need to know specifically what they do with it moving in the next 2 episodes.
You killed Yord.
A man who didn't hesitate to turn you in for a crime you didn't commit.
Which is like,
if it was you. Which is fair.
Which is like, I guess, but at the same time, it's like, dude, that doesn't justify you killing Yord.
I guess to be fair, like, you're talking to a Sith, so
no,
he's gonna bullshit.
No, I'm rephrase it. Osha is not gonna take your excuse. I'm gonna rephrase it. So
yeah,
Osha is not gonna take your excuse.
That's why she brings up Jackie as an example.
You killed Jackie.
And where did you think that was going to go? You would have had the same relationship with her that you have with your master. One-sided. Why do you love people who can only go so far, who can't go as deep as you can?
I feel like when you're trying to get a prompt out of somebody who's clearly evil, and he's giving his own justifications as to why he killed them. But then it's like it's more of a problem on. I'm not really mad at what the stranger is saying, because the stranger's kind of he's kind of saying things straight up. It's just kind of like how OSHA's retaining this information.
Here's the thing, yeah. It's like OSHA was like, oh fuck, you killed my friends, you killed this guy, you killed this guy. I was like, oh, this is why I killed, and she just like, oh, okay, dude. What you're supposed to care? You're characterized by to be caring about your friends and stuff, and you didn't debate the stranger when it comes to, oh, I killed your friends, lol.
They go back to the helmet, which we kind of talked about it earlier. It's made of cortosis, which is a metal that can nullify lightsabers temporarily. It's from extended lore. Yeah, it's usually something that the Sith use as for their armor. So when they're having a combat and they strike at that, it'll temporarily disable a Jedi's lightsaber. For the sake of advantage.
This is a problem with Episode 5. They just introduce it. It's like, oh fuck. This thing is supposed to be able to block lightsabers, and somehow lasers can, fix the helmet.
Earlier, he says that it's kind of like it works like a sensory deprivation helmet, like how younglings wear. So it's not saying that younglings wear cortosis on their heads, basically, but like it's similar that the helmet's function is like that. He just doesn't really need to see; he just uses the force when he's fighting in the helmet. So that's, I get that aspect.
Try it on.
I don't trust you.
Nor should you, but you should learn to trust yourself.
Fuck that shit. Just say, if I'm gonna kill you, I would have done it already. I need generic villain line. I know it's cliche, but that's at least just respond with that.
So this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't really have a problem with what the stranger is saying, for the most part, at least. There are some lines that are kind of dumb, but I think it's more of a problem on OSHA's side, because there's not enough combative like things. It's like, because like he's clearly talking about, I want an apprentice, and how he's treating you right now is to possibly be his apprentice. So it's like, I don't really understand like where her thoughts are coming from, this supposedly pure of heart kind of person, to the point of like, I will betray my sister. Like it was her own interest. Her sister believes it was a betrayal back in episode 3. So it's like, I don't really know what exactly is it that the stranger is saying that is making you change your mind. If it's all seduced by the dark side, I guess because you saw his penis then.
Literally the only reason.
So yeah, then she does end up wearing the helmet at the end of the episode.
Which is like, why do you want to? I don't know. Just fuck it, I guess.
It just looks cool. He's got scars on his back. The guy is like a badass. Oh my god! Like things like that.
Yep. And do you remember the briefing? The briefing. But remember, Darth Vader needs a briefing because he got burned by lava. And why does he need? But why did OSHA breathe heavily after she wears a helmet? Maybe she got burned from the inside.
I just wanted a reference.
I remember that reference, even though that makes no sense. Hey, remember, not even Kylo Ren has that breathing noise.
Yeah, I just think it's just a reference. I don't think it's like literally breathing through the helmet.
Which is like, even that was like, okay, why do you put the breathing noise here if it's like you just want the reference?
But yeah, that's how the episode ends. So, what do you think?
Really bad. There's 3 plot lines and none of them makes any sense.
I just think it's really bland. Things are happening. It feels like every other episode, to be honest.
It's like it's like one plot line, the Vernestra plot line. It's like, oh, basically just shit happens. I'm gonna investigate. Okay, we finished investigating. Bye. Well, thank you. We learned nothing. The second plot line is it's like Soul discovering that May is disguising as OSHA, which is like, okay, you just dragged on because Soul should have no May's May is disguising. Which I forgot to say this. So the reason why May is disguising as Osha because she wants to kill Soul.
Right.
So why didn't she? I mean, you could just literally just do that at the end of episode 5 when he's unconscious.
Yeah, but then he does wake up from his stun, which is that kind of thing kind of annoyed me as well. Both May and May and Soul got stun gunned, and they both get up like really quickly. Than I would have expected. So yeah, I mean,
It's just like
it's kind of weird.
Even that was like to just shoot him again with a stun gun if he wakes up. It's
Yeah,
you
but
can
then it
see
turns out Soul took the stun gun off of her, I think, but like took it off of OSHA, quote unquote. So
it's like because episode 5 she's like, May has a stun gun at the end, and she uses to shoot Soul. So she's the one who has a stun gun before Soul wakes up. So it's like, oh fuck, just shoot him again if he wants. If the motivation is you just want to kill Soul, and he wakes up.
and then it's like it's also difficult too, is because like I could see keeping him alive to hear what he has to say about that planet, what happened. But then the problem is they do the tried to kill him thing, but then the power went off
Yeah.
thing beforehand. So it's like now it's like I don't think you want to hear what he has to say, regardless of. But then when you have that be the thing that brings your downfall, how he figures out that you're not OSHA, that just doesn't really make any sense anymore. I feel like you would try to prod that question out of him as to what happened, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's things like that where it's like I can understand why keeping him alive would have been fine if that's what you want to get information out of him first before you kill him. But because they did the try to kill him first, something happened where she has to go away. Then it's like, and then come back with the question. That makes you even more suspicious. So
Yeah, and
it's just contrived writing.
And what's even worse is like when the power went back on, May was like, oh, she just leave the conversation. Was like, and just inform the council. Was like, oh, okay, you just made yourself even worse.
Yeah, it's so suspicious on the like
And
you could factor this like maybe OSHA quote unquote was like pissed at what Soul is not saying, but that just made it worse for that made it more obvious to Soul that like yeah. And like that's what I'm saying. At the very least, I can commend them for not doing something stupid like how it was through a conversation that he realized it was not OSHA and not because of the tattoos. Because that would have really made it all dumb. But even then, it's still dumb regardless.
yeah, and here's the thing: what did May even want to just contact Jedi Council? It's not like they're gonna believe OSHA, quote unquote OSHA, who left the
Yeah.
council and just like, oh fuck, actually Soul killed everyone. I guess I don't know. It's like it's so stupid.
And yeah, I mean, May even stated like she just wants to kill 4 Jedi. She never really. I mean, the stranger had some, some inkling as to what they could do after that after they kill 4 Jedi, but as his apprentice. But I mean, again, I still don't really understand what the point is of being an acolyte. I mean that the acolyte stuff has already dropped completely,
Yeah.
so it's
And
not.
here's
It's called the acolyte, and it's not even the acolyte.
Yeah, I checked what the acolyte means, and apparently it just means the Sith not like what the fuck is that? So it's in the Clone Wars. Ventress is referred as an acolyte, and he's the Padawan of Palpatine who has a Padawan called Ventress. Okay, that's apparently what an acolyte means.
Yeah, basically, an acolyte is somebody who helps, who kind of does something for another person, doing minor things. Basically like an underling. Like you have Padawan for Jedi, so then you have an acolyte for a Sith. That could be interesting, but again, it's not really about. We had this conversation in a previous episode as well. It's not really about the Sith. It's not really about the Acolyte. Really, it's just another Jedi show for the most part that kind of has a protagonist that is a Acolyte to a degree.
Yeah,
So-
because to be honest, that Disney is not willing to just explore anything when it comes to the evil side, aside from Andor, of course, because that is the only good thing from Disney Star Wars, and of course the plot line with Osha and the stranger, or as I call it, Smilo Ran. So Osha is just so really, really, really stupid for even believing this guy. That's the conclusion for that section of that episode.
And it's like, is it really going down that direction? I don't think so. But again, we still have 2 more episodes to go. I feel like the next episode is going to be the flashback episode again, like how episode 3 was, but this time through the perspective of Soul. I'm sure we'll get back our great cameos of Carrie-Anne Moss again. Do you think they're going to do flashback scenes with Yord and Jackie?
Maybe. I have no
Probably.
idea. Maybe. Yeah.
It is Daphne Keane, to be fair. We'll see.
We'll see.
Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe to Another Reviews Corp podcast for more content on our thoughts on movies and TV shows. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.